three names, and I just said, whatever, I'm going to tell the church all three, and it is what it's going to be. Amen. Right? So I have, it might seem corny to y'all, but it was fire when it came into my head, so sorry. Ride together, strive together, good news for life. That was one. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys. And then the second one, this is, everybody says it, but I'm going to use it anyways. Teamwork makes the dream work. Right? And then the last one I had was, I don't know where it came from, but I just said it. Follow the leader, 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 follow the leader. Hey, the reason why I thought about that is because if you think about who's at the top of our life, who rides on top of our lives. And you know what? America's desire to be one nation under God, or the United States, is quickly becoming the divided states. Right? And it's crazy how everywhere we look, division is occurring at a very high level. Right? And the very people we have trying to make America great again, or unite the nations, are publicly fighting. Right? We see racial divide in our nations, division between police and citizens, division between whites and blacks, divisions between husbands and wives. And the list goes on, and it keeps growing no matter what the efforts are to seek to heal them. So Jesus prayed a prayer. It was the longest recorded prayer in the Bible, and we find it in John 17. Guys, turn there with me. And I'm not going to read it, we're going to go through and dissect it. Okay? So it's John 17. And so just have your Bibles there, because we're going to go through a couple of them. And in this prayer, Jesus is going to give you and I a secret. He's going to tell us something that is going to transform our lives in light of all the divide that we see in the world today. Okay? So let me set the scene. Jesus is about to be arrested. They're getting ready to come and arrest him within 24 hours and to begin the process of taking him to the cross. And on the day before his arrest, what he did was he gathered his disciples together, right? And to give him his final words before he departs, right? And John chapter 17, Jesus prays. He says, and I realized that Jesus was not only praying for just the disciples, he was praying for all of those to come after, right? He was praying for all Christians, right? And so Jesus' prayer is for both you and I, right? And tucked in that prayer is a secret. And so we're going to get to the secret, and the secret is the power of unity. There's a power in unity. And Jesus is going to break it down for us. So, verse 11, it says, be one as we are one. Verse 21 says, and this is Jesus talking to God. Right? He said, it begins by saying that all of them may be one. This is verse 21. Verse 22, he ends verse 22 by saying that they may be one as we are one. And in the beginning of verse 23, I in them and you in me, that they may be brought to complete unity. So as you can see, Jesus Christ is quite concerned in his prayer to his Father that his followers emulate the oneness that he possessed with his Father. Right? So he's concerned about unity and oneness. So let's clarify what that all means. Right? Jesus needs it to be clear what he means in reference to unify. Right? I want them to be one like you and I are one. So whatever the unity is he wants us to have, it will be a replica of the unity he possesses with God. Now the question is, what did this unity mean? Okay, look at verse 4. I have brought you to glory on earth by finishing the work you gave me to do. Unity has to do with oneness of purpose. I completed the work you have left me here to do. Unity is not about sameness, where everyone is the same. It is about distinctiveness, going in the same direction in driven, not persons driven. So when the Dolphins, when they like, I'm not really a Dolphins fan, I'm a Broncos fan, but it is what it is. Anywho, the Dolphins, when they line up by their different positions, by different people, with different backgrounds, but there is only one goal line for the Dolphins. So you have different positions, different individuals, different backgrounds, but one goal line. So all of these differences that exist, the position, the person, they are all pointing towards one direction to that one goal line in which their differences are designed to achieve a purpose. A purpose that hopefully one day the Dolphins will actually be able to fulfill, but you know what? And so, what happened? I have hope for them. At some point soon, they may be able to achieve a Super Bowl or something. Amen. I've spoken into existence prophecy. Unity is purposeful. It is not sameness, because the Father is not the Son, and the Son is not the Holy Spirit. They are three distinct persons, but they operate on the same page because they are going after the same purpose. Are you guys following me? Okay. So, apart from sin, group, it's okay for people to be different. It's okay. God doesn't expect men to be like women or women to be like men. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't care what society says. If I was built a woman, I'm gonna be a woman. Right? I don't have to. Men don't have to. They do these things where women, because women are technically emotional beings, men have to become emotional beings to match women. No, God created them that way. God created us one way. So I snapped a little bit because I wasn't talking way. Whatever. So they are different by design. God doesn't expect everybody to have the same personality, to be the same race, and have the same exact interests. Differences are actually very critical. They are very essential, and they are eternally determined. Right? And so, when you try to change somebody apart from sin, you're being more God in their life than God is. Right? God created those differences. People are not supposed to be the same. In most relationships, in most friendships, in most family ships, in most whatever ships, the conflict that regularly happens between people is someone trying to change you and you trying to change them. Right? If it's not related to sin, I'm not gonna lie, you have a little bit of a right if you know the sin is involved, whatever. But if it's not, that's different. The issue of unity is not changing the person. The unity is about clarifying the purpose. Right? So unity, the issue that most people find in unity is that they're always trying to change someone else versus trying to clarify what we're going towards, what we're trying to do here, right? So if you ever clarify the purpose and get all the people to achieve a legitimate purpose, then you will have unity of function while still having distinction of personality. I know I'm saying the most. I'm going to say it again so y'all can hear me a little bit. If you clarify the purpose group, you get all the people to achieve a legitimate purpose while keeping unity of function. There will be distinct personalities still there. Right? So, because Jesus says the unity that we have with God, I need us to filter it down to your people on earth. I need them to understand, right, that you and I have a connection, but I have decided to be submissive to the mission. Submission to the mission. Johnny, I quoted you. Right? And so I was in the band for several years. You know, the best band in the land, North Miami Beach Chargers. I don't care. No. We're North Miami Beach over here. Excuse you. And so when you're in the band, when school gets out, as a band, band kid or band geek, whatever you want to call me, you run into the locker room to change your clothes. You got to get into the band room before 3 o'clock. And you got to get into the band room and you got to start perfecting your part. When you walk into a band room, it is total chaos in there. There's nothing but noise. There's nothing but discord. You can't even figure out what song is being played. You don't know what's happening because you have the percussion over there making all this noise, Isaac. You know what I'm saying? Making all this noise, all this workers trying to perfect their part. You have the brass instruments, the tubas, you have the trombones, all of that. They're over there perfecting their craft. You have the woodwinds in the middle. So you know you got the flute, you got all of them trying to figure out. But then you get the drum major. And the drum major comes walking into the band room, total silence. Why? The drum major walks into the room and says, "Band." We gotta repeat, "Sir." He said, "Band." "Sir." "Attend." "Hut." The British band in the land says, Tia, say with me, N, B. You know what I'm saying? Tia, you know. Excuse me, Farrah, thank you. They call attention to themselves. The drum major walks in the room because the drum major technically heads the whole thing. Now, the drum major calls them to attention to get all the discord out of the way and bring unity into the room, right? So now you have many different instruments now playing the same song. You have many different instruments that was first doing a whole bunch of noise, perfecting themselves on the side until the leader came and they got in order. They got submissive to the mission. So they began to play a common song. And you know what's missing in a lot of unities in the world? Is common purpose. When everybody starts creating their own different purposes, when everybody starts moving towards their own purposes, there will automatically be conflict. Right? Because we've chosen different goal lines, different destinations, and instead of putting our differences together, we're fighting against the goal lines. We're not fighting to get everybody on the same page. We're fighting to figure out which is the goal line. We're trying to figure out which route we're going to go because everybody has something to say. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has their own path. But Jesus said, our unity is tied to the fact that I have completed the work that you have called me to do. Now, in order to achieve unity, you have to be submissive to legitimate authority. Right? I came to do the work you sent me here to do. So even though the Father is equal to the Son, they had an arrangement where the Son would be submissive to the will of the Father in order to accomplish the goal of the kingdom. So it involves submission to legitimate authority where there is clarity of the goal. So what unity cannot do is exist if there is no clarity of what we're unified about. That means, in other words, if it is unclear where you are going, you will get there every time. Okay, I'm going to say it differently. Right? Because truth be told, nobody knows where this thing is going, right? We have no idea where we're going. So guess what? We will always reach the destination to nowhere. That's what that means. We have no idea what we're doing. We have no idea where this thing is going. I'm in a relationship with you and I have no clue where it's going. We already got to where we was at. It's about time for me to jump ship. Because it's obvious I have reached my destination with you. This thing ain't going further. It's going to nowhere land. Right? And so you have to be unified with purpose, group. And in this unity, there is a key element, right? And it's in verse 17, it says, sanctify them by the truth. Your word is truth. Verse 19 says, for them And I sanctify myself, that they too may be truly sanctified. His goal is that there might be oneness, right? So the road to oneness is sanctification in the truth. If there is no truth, then there is no unity. Because God responds to the truth, which means you have to know what the truth is, group. We live in a world where it's all about possibilities. It's all about potentialities. It's all about preferences. We live in a world where everybody has an idea about everything. We base our decisions on our own ideologies and our own ideas, right? And so you hear people say things like, my truth. This is my truth. That's your truth, right? And when you got everybody with their own truth, you got everybody with their own direction, and when you got everybody with their own direction, teamwork doesn't make the dream work, because guess what? There is no team. Right? John 14:6, Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. We live in a world where people operate on what they believe to be true. Because you believe something doesn't make it true. Unless it sits outside of you and is coming from an objective standard group, then you could be believing in a lie, thinking it's the truth. And if you believe a lie thinking it's true, you operate on your beliefs. And that's not true. It means you are operating on a lie and will be led into falsehood. You begin to ask yourself, like, yo, why are things not working out for me? Why do I keep going through the same cycle? Why is it that I keep making the same decision? Why do I go to his house every day? Why am I still with him? Why don't my mama leave me alone? Why? Like, I don't understand. Like, I ain't even much do nothing. I didn't even much do nothing, group. But you know what? Truth is an objective standard by which reality is measured, group. So Jesus says, I want you to be sanctified with the truth. John 14 said, Jesus said, I am the way, and the life. I want you to be sanctified with the truth. Sanctified means to be set apart for a purpose. Jesus says, I sanctify myself. I set myself apart based on the word to the truth to fulfill the purpose that God has for me. Everybody, I think maybe some people don't know, some people know how much I fear getting on planes. I'm not going to say fear, I loathe. I loathe it. Getting on planes. Some people personally know what happens to me when I get on a plane. I cry. I cry with a smile on my face. Now, I don't know what I would do if I walk in the plane and I overhear the pilot saying, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what button to push to get this thing started. No, I'm turning around, I'm getting off. I don't know how many of y'all, if you go to a doctor's office, the doctor saying, yeah, so we're gonna do this procedure, and then outside your door, you hear the doctor saying, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna cut until I find what it is. Okay, I don't know how many of you will go to a hairstylist and say, yeah, I think I know how to do that style. I'm gonna just do something and then I'm gonna just turn you around so you can see how you look after. No, you know what? Or go to a pharmacist and they say, you know what, I'm gonna just put these together and I think that'll make your blood pressure go down. I'm not too sure. Don't really quote me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just take these and then we'll see how you feel in 2 weeks. Right? Because when your life is at stake, when your livelihood is being compromised, when there is uncertainty, you can't have people guessing with your life. Right? Let me tell you, God doesn't want people guessing with your life. God doesn't want you guessing with your life. Right? Jesus made a powerful statement in John 8, verse 32. He said, which means if you're being deceived by a lie, you will continuously be a slave. Right? He says, once you know it and abide in it, it will liberate you. A lot of people are in bondage because we're living on a lie, believing it's the truth. Because he says the truth that you know will liberate you. So if you're being held hostage by an illegitimate truth, right? That means the truth has not penetrated you yet. The real truth has not yet come into your life, and you've been operating by the very thing that's keeping you hostage. Truth has a liberating power, and God is not negotiating his truth just because you want to change directions. Just because you want to go the opposite direction doesn't mean God is going to change and shift the way he does things. Let me tell you, if your life is foggy, if your life is cloudy, you better agree with what God says to you. Right? And not what you think, not what you feel. God's goal is unity, right? But he only operates with the truth that you know, group. And in fact, you want to see God manifest in your life. That means you need to grab hold of the truth. Jesus gives us a warning. He says, because Jesus knows that this unity can be interrupted. No matter what unity it is, relationship, friendship, what's going on in the world, he knows all of this stuff can and will be interrupted. So in verse 4, he says, I have given them your word, and the world has hated them because they are not of the world any more than I am of the world. Verse 16, he says, they are not of the world, even as I am not of it. So Jesus knows that the system is at work to keep you from the truth. And that system is called the world. The world is defined as the system headed by Satan that leaves God out of the picture. Right? So it is that system that is orchestrated by the devil that wants you to get God meaningfully out of the conversation without getting rid of God's name. Like a lot of politicians always say, one nation under God. The question is it really under God? So Satan has created a system where you can still keep God's name in the midst, but not God's truth. Let me tell you something. Satan is a fan of religion. He loves religion. It's like his favorite thing, because guess what? I can keep God's name in the midst, but I don't want God's truth. I don't want these people to know God's truth. I don't want these people to know the truth. So guess what? I'm going to create a system where God's name can still be in the midst. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to come up in there and I'm going to make sure there is discord. I'm going to make sure there is disunity. I'm going to make sure. So I don't know if you guys remember, the first relationship ever in the world. Genesis, Adam and Eve. You guys guessed it well. And it says, in Genesis 2, verse 24, it says, a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh, one unity. They're going to be unified, living happily ever after. Ladies and gents, the next verse, chapter 3, verse 1. After meet me at the altar in your white dress, you know what I'm saying? All of that stuff, the dancing, the reception, everything happens, you know what I'm saying? Slick walks in the garden uninvited, dressed to impress, you know what I'm saying? Eve, what's up? You know what I'm saying? And he said, did God really say? So he twisted the word of God so that the oneness that was agreed upon one verse earlier destroys the garden. It destroys the whole entire home. It destroys the relationship between mother and daughter. It destroys relationship between husband and wife. It destroys relationship between nation and nation, people and people. So the truth is now diverted by the devil. The devil knows that if he can keep you from the truth, he can break up unity. And if he can break up 16. Sorry, y'all, it's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. And thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you. Hold on, Rudy. Thank you, Rudy. I appreciate you. You have my heart. It says, Romans chapter 16, verse 17 and 18. I'm just going to read it. It says, I urge you, brothers and sisters, to watch out for those who cause division and put obstacles in your way that are contrary to the teaching you have learned. Keep away from them, for such people are not serving our Lord, but their own appetites. By smooth talk and flattery, they deceive the minds of naive people. So that means we have to be in a position to point those things out, right? People that are causing disunity, and we got to deal with them head on, because you will lose God if you keep those people that divide. It's a simple fact, bro. It may seem a little bit harsh, but disunity comes because of the absence of God. And the absence of God will always be the loss of truth. So now you got a whole bunch of people believing a lie. And guess who is the father of lies? Satan himself. So that means you got a kingdom that's headed by Satan. I'm jumping ship. I don't want to be in this situationship. That's what people call it. I just learned that word. That's what people call it when you don't know what you in with somebody. You are unclear of what you and this person are, so you call it a situationship. I bless you guys. God bless y'all, because y'all didn't know that, so I taught y'all something. You're welcome. Right? And you know what? This absence of truth can be a kingdom issue. Right? Matthew 12:25 says, every kingdom divided against itself will be ruined. And every city or household divided against itself will not stand. So if I was the devil and I wanted to keep God out of your home, out of your church, out of the country, then I'm going to create illegitimate disunity. I want to disrupt the kingdom. So I am going to create disunity, and a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. So in order to keep God out of the church, out of your home, out of your marriage, out of your friendship, out of your relationships, out of your situationships, out of the ships and chips and chips, he keeps you in conflict. You always at somebody's throat. You know what I'm saying? He keeps you at somebody's throat. Every day, this is you and the person. Y'all like this. At some point, I don't know what game that is, people be like this the whole time. Yeah, want to come back before they get to fight it, you know what I'm saying? They just keep going. Yeah? Street fighter, you know what I'm saying? They just be like this right here. God wants you to be in conflict with people. God, did I say God? The devil. That's the total job. The devil wants you to be in conflict with people. He wants your hand to be moving like this. He wants you to be mouthy. He wants you to have every slick thing to say. He wants you to speak your truth. You don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know how I got here. I did this all by myself. That's what he wants. He wants you to constantly feel like you have the right for things. He wants you to constantly feel like, you know what? I did this all by myself. I don't need nobody. I can heal myself. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all a story because I like stories. So there's a particular person, and she was going through some stuff, and I don't mean to laugh at her. She was going through some stuff. Be serious. And me and Sarah, we tried to talk to her, and so, you know, we was giving her some advice, and her friends in the background, they're like, yeah, let me tell you, and then this is what she did. This is her friends now. And she's standing there, and I know she wanna cry. So it's cool. Then, I don't know what happens. The devil enters the room. A spirit enters the room. And she's like, I just wanna go home. She stormed off. Mine and Sarah like, B, you better get her. She like, B, you better get her. I'm like, everybody just calm down. I'm like, Tia, let me just talk to you. I can heal myself. till you just sit here in front of me. Sometimes you need somebody to just sit with you. Sometimes you need somebody to just come along with you. Because when you fall, you need somebody else to pick you up. When you're by yourself, the enemy can fill you with a whole bunch of lies. He tells you things that are not as though they are. When in all actuality, we have the power to speak those things that are not as though they are. Right? And you know what? When you're divided, things will be ruined. Kingdoms will not thrive. How many of y'all have ever been in conflict with yourself? Self. Why are you doing this? You don't listen. That's changer. You know, you tell yourself, you have the side of you that's like, bro, just chill. Everything gonna be Gucci, everything's gonna be smooth. And then you got the other side of you, no, jump off the ledge. Just jump off. It's the easiest route. It's gonna be quick. Your demise is gonna be quick. Oh man, you're gonna feel great after this. Right? And I realize sometimes when I'm home and I just wake up and I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. This ain't me. Who is in my house? Who is in my mind? Who is in my world? Who is in my marriage? Who is in this life that I have? Who is inside of me? And you have to ask yourself, and you have to tell yourself, that's the devil. That looks like the devil. This conversation looks like the devil. This situation that I'm in looks like the devil. It may be easy, it may feel easy, but it will not lead to fruitfulness. It will not lead to life and life more abundantly. Right? So Genesis 11, I keep going back. I be trying not to go to Genesis, but I gotta go. The Tower of Babel group. You guys know the story of the Tower of Babel. I know y'all know the story of the Tower of Babel because you guys are amazing Christians and y'all read your Bibles. And it says, now the whole world had one language and a common speech. Right? They were unified. And let me tell you, these people, they came up with one plan to build a civilization with one religion. Right? They built a tower. And they said that this tower is going to go all the way up to heaven, which is humanism, because we got to get to heaven by man. We don't need God. We just need man to come together, sing Kumbaya, and live happily ever after. But then God came down. No, he came down. The Lord came down to see what the sons of man have built. I got to see what's going on. And when God sees that he has been left out, he says, let us, he's talking to the Holy Trinity, divide this thing. He said, the reason we're going to divide it is because we got left out of it. And we know that if they stay unified, there is nothing they will not be able to pull off on earth because of the power of unity. So in order to keep them on earth from thinking more of themselves than they ought to think, we're going to mess this thing up. We're going to confuse their languages. Truth be told, God will not let unity last if it leaves him out. You want to be in this relationship, but you decide you want to go ahead of God? It's not going to last. You want to be in this marriage, and you decide you don't want to pray, you don't want to invite God in, you don't want to fight the fight spiritually, you want to fight the fight physically, mildly, it's not going to last. You want to do things, you want these goals, you want these desires, but you want to do them without God? It ain't gonna last. But now the good news, no pun intended. Anywho, that was a joke for me. You guys could laugh if you want to. I appreciate y'all. Unity is oneness of purpose, group. This is the good news. It is establishing a common goal that's legitimate that differences are pointing to that invites God in the midst. Right? It gets better because Jesus says in verse 23, I'm going back to John, I in them and you in me, so that they may be brought to complete unity. That the world will know that you sent me and have loved them even as you have loved me. He says, when you have legitimate unity as defined biblically, the world will see something it has not seen. The world will see you love them. Somebody answer this for me. Answer this for me. I love this. It seems important. And if you will be perfected in unity, God will manifest his commitment to you guys. Right? If you will be perfected in unity, God will manifest his commitment to you. When there is unity, you get to see God show up. Right? You get to see God invade your circumstances. You get to see God invade your situation. He flips things, he twists things, he changes things, whether it's invading it emotionally, whether it's invading it circumstantially, you get to see God loving you. Jesus said, if you are unified based on the truth, you will see and I will give them the glory that you gave me. And when he says glory, glory is where God shows off. Glory is where the invisible God becomes visible. Glory is where he enters into your situations and lets you see his attributes at work. Glory is where God paints his name on a billboard so that you can see that it was God himself that came down on your behalf to do things for you. Glory, group. And in closing, Psalm 133 says, how good and pleasant is it when God's people live together in unity. It is like precious oil poured on the head, running down on the beard, running down on Aaron's beard, down on the collar of his robe. It is as if the dew of Hermon were falling on Mount Zion. For there the Lord bestows his blessing, even life forevermore. This is what the Bible says. When we come together, group, there is so much that happens. When people put their minds together on common ground with the Lord, headed to one place, there is life forevermore. And Jesus had the right idea. Jesus, the band, you can start playing. Jesus, he knew that if he put his pride aside, if he didn't get like the devil and say, but we equal, man, why I gotta go down there and sacrifice my life for the sake of these people? Jesus had the right idea. Jesus had the right mindset. Jesus understood that if I came down and if I was submissive to the mission at hand, that people, so many people around the world, differently, that look different, think different, act different, will come together on one accord. Jesus understood that if he stood firm, that if he stood in place, that if he connected with God, he knew and he understood. He understood that so much is going to come out of what he's choosing to do. So my question to you guys, in your relationships, in your friendships, in your marriages, in your relationship with God himself, where do you stand? What do you choose? Do you choose life forevermore? Or do you choose yourself? Do you choose what makes you feel comfortable? do you choose growth? With every head bowed and every eyes closed, and as Rev comes up, I want us to think about the relationship that we are able to have with the Holy Trinity. I want us to think about how Jesus died on the cross for us so many years ago for us to have this moment. He died on the cross knowing the mission, knowing where he was going, knowing that he was going to resurrect, and knowing that he was going to ascend to the heavens and sit at the right hand of the Father for us, to speak for us, to plead for us. And everything that Jesus did, Jesus thought about us. He thought about unification. He thought about togetherness. He thought about oneness. Get yourself in a position where you think about God, where you think about the person around you, where you think about the many places that you are, where your difference matters, where it's important for you to be there. It's important for you to show up and be active. Because through you, someone else can be saved. Through you, someone else will be saved. There was this guy in the Bible, and he didn't know, he heard Jesus was coming into town, and so he did everything that he could to get his attention. And he was a real short man, and so he got up in the tree. He tried his hardest. He was like, I need Jesus to see me because I need to understand. There's some things that I need, that I realize that I can't get it from myself, that I can't get it from the world. I can't get it from anybody around me. But this man, there's something different about him. And so Jesus sees this man, and he tells him to come down, and he tells the man, take me to your house. We're going to have supper at your house. We're going to be at your house. And guess what? Because of this man's want and need and desire for the Lord, his entire family was saved. So my question to you, what ship are you on that can be saved because of you? Ask God to open up your heart, open up your mind, put you in a position of unification. Because there's power where 2 or 3 are gathered. When God shows up, he shows out. So I want you guys to just open up your mouths and just invite Jesus into your life. Invite Jesus into your situations. Invite Jesus into your circumstances. Invite Jesus into the things that are dark, the things that are cloudy, the things that you are not sure of, so that he can make it clear. I want you guys to repeat after me. Jesus, I'm here before you, and I ask that you come into my life. I ask that you take control of my life. Jesus, you lead, and I will follow. Jesus, send me, and I will go. Help me to work together with those around me to bring your kingdom to greater manifestation. I love you, Lord, and I thank you. Amen.